59 tonight, slight chance for scattered thunderstorms. Tomorrow, high of 83. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 68.
Looking for a new Silverado? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Yes, we finally have new Silverado inventory. We have Silverados in 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s with several trim levels. Custom, LT, RST, LTZ, and yes, high countries. This month, get an extra down payment assistance on all Silverados. Baum Chevrolet Buick. We have inventory. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
Get moving again. Warner Hospital provides award-winning orthopedic health to DeWitt County with Gibson Area Hospital Orthopedics. Your orthopedic health is important, and Dr. Brett Keller specializes in joint replacement, robotic total joint replacements, general orthopedic care, and fracture care. Return to an active lifestyle and a higher quality of living with Gibson Area Hospital Orthopedics. Now seeing patients at the Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton. To book your appointment with Dr. Keller in Clinton, call 217-784-4030.
I'm Len Casper, the voice of the White Sox Radio Network. Follow the Sox across central Illinois on the Big 1520 WHOW.
Sponsored by Baum Chevy Buick, Clinton Community YMCA, Covenant Animal Clinic, Jason France, your State Farm Insurance agent, Midstate Eye, and Nan Krang with Remax Choice, the 217 home team, all in Clinton.
Do you know what to do when a car is pulled over on the side of the road?
Get over!
First, reduce your speed. Second, change lanes if possible. Third, proceed with caution. These 3 simple steps can be the difference between life and death.
What if it's you that's on the side of the road? Do you want everybody to move over for you?
Do the right thing. Slow down, move over, and drive like your life and their life depends on it.
Let's swing open the farm gate together every day on WHOW. I'm Stu Ellis, your host of the long-running agriculture feature called The Farm Gate. I bring the latest news and information on where agriculture is and where it's going to WHOW Ag listeners several times a day. From tariffs to treaties, from the Board of Trade to the running board on your truck, I cover Central Illinois agriculture every day on The Farm Gate. Hear it all on WHOW's many platforms, on the radio or online. Join me, Stu Ellis, for The Farm Gate.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Mr. Matt Koeppel, is the athletic director for Clinton Schools. Good morning, Mr. Koeppel. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys
doing great. And I'm sure this is just a relaxing summer for you. Everything is just, chill at the high school and all the schools. Like, this is probably just the calmest summer you've ever had, right?
Yeah, that's one way to put it. We've got several projects going on, several things that are really kind of taking place. But, I've always said, I tell people when they ask me, with progress comes some pain.
Mm-hmm.
And, if we're not willing to endure some of that, adversity, we can't get bigger projects done. So
sure,
it is kind of a summer of pain right now with getting things done. Like the high school gym is completely shut down until August, with getting new bleachers, new gym floor, new logos, kind of getting things done in there. So that's completely shut down.
Nice.
Redoing the complete kitchen area, which I know athletically that won't, but you'll see when you walk in for a game, that's halftime and stuff. That's where you spend most of your time. So that will be completely redone. We did new asphalt all around the building.
Nice.
We did new junior high bleachers.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of hard to even, I know I'm missing something, but there's a lot of projects going on.
Yeah.
Even some things that we're not going to talk about, but we've got some surprises for people, but you don't want to let everybody know everything because you got to leave something to the imagination so they can see it when it pops up.
Yeah, absolutely. Leave a little surprise there for sure. So this is all, Mr. Koeppel, the facilities has really become a focal point of, the administration, the Board of Education, and all of these things. As you travel around, I'm sure you follow your programs to all these places they go. compare where Clinton schools are at to, some of these other places that are similar in size and, demographics of community and those sorts of things. How does Clinton's facilities compare in your perspective?
I'll tell you right off the bat, I'll put our facilities up against anybody's. I really will. I mean, we're doing some things. Yeah, some people have done some turf and some things like that around, but as you know, a lot of those places have passed that 1%. They're not just doing it to do it. They've passed that 1% facilities tax, which has allowed them to do some things. So they're dealing with some money that we don't necessarily have right now. But I think our facilities and the things that we are doing at our place, I'll put them up against anybody, and anybody can try to challenge me on that.
Sure. What do you like about facilities at Clinton right now?
Oh man, we've redone every softball and baseball field that we have on the campus. Our youth leagues use those nonstop throughout the throughout the summer. We use them throughout the year. We've got ideas to start looking at redoing the football track complex, which is going to be an amazing adventure too. Our gym is being done this summer, which I don't think people realize. I mean, those bleachers were original from 1971, and if they could have seen the process of getting those out, it was actually I can't stop watching. It's fun just to walk down there, and there's currently sanding the floor down right now.
Right.
So we'll have a complete new logo, complete new thing. We did new wall pads to kind of set everything off.
Sure.
It's fun to be the facilities guy that gets to kind of be around with you, but without the capabilities of our district and our school board and all of our admin team and our maintenance guys. I mean, Ryan Black and Jeff Harold. I mean, a lot of people don't see what they do, but the behind the scenes stuff that they do, connecting the dots and crossing the T's and dotting the I's. I mean, people don't see that, but I mean, that's what Ryan Black and them do, and it wouldn't go without those guys.
Sure. So when it comes to all the things happening this summer, that's a lot of things going on, and in that kind of a concentrated area of the school. Is it hectic? Is it kind of stuffy? Is there a lot of people in one spot? What's the environment like in that building right now?
I think stuffy and hectic is just the nail on the head for sure. When you can't go from the main office to certain parts of the building without, you weave through other parts of the building that you usually don't go to. And so like right now you can't get in our gym. We've got all of our gym doors bolted. You can only get in from one entrance.
Sure.
Because we don't want people on the floor because it's all exposed right now. So the commons area, it's very chalky and dusty, and we've got summer school going on, so they got to come in and kind of weave their way through to get through. But it's all working. The construction guys that are there, the crews that are there, are super nice. We're getting to know someone by name because we see them every day for 8 to 10 hours a day. So,
right.
But like I said, it's been great. Everything's kind of been running. I'm going to say this right now, and I don't know if I should even say it, but everything's been kind of running on pace. I probably shouldn't even have said that phrase. But with the school projects, you're always stuck with such a tight window anyway. You only have from that end of May to really that beginning of August. And it's a very tight window when you're talking the size of the projects that we're trying to complete, especially indoor projects where, school has to start. So those indoor projects have really got to get going.
Well, at least you're not outside where, and we've been blessed with great weather for sure, but at least you're not outside where, if it rains for 2 or 3 days, that really can set you back a little bit. So at least you're inside where, you've got the time is for sure set out. You just got to make the crunch work, if you will.
Absolutely. I mean, the weather has been great. I mean, I don't think, but yeah, them being inside, at least it's not stopping them. They can still get rolling. I'm sure if it got too bad, I'm sure some of the stuff they do, they'd probably have to hold off on. I'm not positive on that. But the projects are all running smooth. All the contracts. I mean, I think Ryan told me one time, I think we have 23 different contractors we're dealing with.
Oh my word.
Throughout these, the different things we're doing. So
holy cow.
It does make a lot of, you got to have that guy that can connect all those dots. So it's been fun. I know that's probably not the right word that they would use, but I enjoy this stuff. I really do to help bring stuff. I've always had that slogan since I've got here, that look good, feel good, be good. And I think it just makes kids want to be a part of things in the community, come out and support it.
Sure.
So I'm really big on that.
So what are some of the timelines on, these projects getting done? You were talking about there's a little bit of a surprise. Folks are going to see it. They're going to know it. What are we talking timeline here? And will we be able to see this new gym? Will we be able to see this new kitchen? How about those things, Mr. Koeppel?
Well, obviously everything we'd like to be done by the start of school. We do have tentative plans in case some of those things aren't, obviously when you're dealing with construction and stuff, you've got to have a backup plan in case those don't happen. So athletically, I've got it planned out to where we could potentially hold the first few weeks of volleyball volleyball at the junior high. That's the only thing that would need to be in the gym if it's not quite completed on time. Fingers crossed that we're not doing that, but it's nice to have the great facility we have at our junior high, because it could easily house a high school volleyball match for a couple weeks if we needed to. But I'm crossing my fingers we don't have to do that. The kitchen wise, I know we've got backup plans for that, but we're really hoping that can get done on time too.
Okay.
But I think whenever you plan big major projects, I think if you don't have a tentative plan, then you're just kind of setting yourself up for failure. So we've kind of laid it all out and got the contingency plans in place. So it should be pretty smooth, whichever direction it goes.
So it's really going to come up against the start of school. I mean, pretty close, it sounds like.
Yeah, I know. So just speaking athletically wise, our bleachers, they started tearing them out the week after graduation. They actually finished 2 days early. Our floor guys showed up on June 12th like they were supposed to, but the tentative plan was June 26th. So they were actually 2 weeks before that.
Okay.
So now they're sanding the floor down, and then the artists will come in and paint the floor. They'll seal it, and then it has to sit for a couple weeks, let it cure. And then the new bleacher people can hopefully come in by about July 14th. And we've been told it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get all the bleachers put in. Obviously I've never done it, so that's just a tentative idea.
Oh, okay.
Told us.
Sure.
We're just sticking with what they can tell us, but that's if everything kind of goes. So if the floor gets pushed back, then the bleacher people get pushed back, and it just kind of snowballs a little bit. So right now things are moving smooth, but I know in this world you can't. If this all goes perfect, Seth, we're both going to play some lottery tickets.
Yes, exactly.
Right
exactly right. How about the supply chains and getting things in, the cost of things? What are we finding there? Are things working out in terms of having the things we need to make this project happen, and are the costs lining up? How about that?
Well, obviously cost is always, if you go to the grocery store, you go anywhere, the cost of everything has gone skyrocketing. So I'm sure if we'd have done this project 10 years ago, it'd be way different than what it is today.
Right.
But the stuff that we've got planned, and we've gotten the tools and the equipment we need right now, the contractors have everything they need. I know our bleachers are supposed to ship somewhere on July 7th. So I think that was great news when we got that. Like, holy cow, because that was kind of, hopefully the parts are here, but they're supposed to ship July 7th.
All right.
So as far as the athletic side of things have been running pretty smooth. I can't speak to the kitchen side of things because I'm just a watcher when it comes to that. I don't have any of the background on that. So
yeah, definitely. Gotcha. Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Koeppel, rather than starting out a new subject, particularly future of our facilities in Clinton, let's take a time out. We'll come back with more. Can folks follow you, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? Are you on social media? Folks can follow along for Clinton Athletics.
Yeah, we have our Clinton Maroons Athletics Facebook page, and then we have our CHS Twitter page that you can follow to at Clinton High School.
All right, very good. Mr. Koeppel, let's take a time out. That is Mr. Matt Koeppel. He is the athletic director for Clinton Schools, our guest in studio. More to come with him on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Your own home without the maintenance. If you're 55 or better, a beautiful Liberty Village villa could be yours. This is Erin, and I invite you to come take a tour of our move-in ready villa. Click the Liberty Village icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Simply the finest.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio for their news, weather, sports, and a community connection. It's the backbone of the emergency alert system. It's critical that we keep AM radio in cars because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Noah Atkinson, owner of Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs in Lincoln. Small business is the lifeblood of our communities. That's why I'm proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the WHOW WEZC Lincoln Printers Business of the Month.
Jarhead Construction Incorporated is a veteran-owned and operated roofing company based in Clinton, offering excellent workmanship and genuine care for their clients. They believe in giving back by supporting Lua Deer Hunt for Heroes, using all proceeds to help veterans wounded during service. Jarhead Construction Incorporated is a GAF certified weather stopper roofing contractor. They'll receive a $200 gift certificate good at Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs for being our WHOW WEZC Lincoln Printers Business of the Month. Nominate a business you'd like featured by emailing us at WHOW@randyradio.com.
Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs congratulates this local business for their contribution to our community. And for envelopes, wedding invitations, signs, banners, vinyl wraps, and more, find us at LincolnPrintersInc.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Mr. Matt Koeppel, Athletic Director for Clinton Schools, in studio with us. So, Mr. Koeppel, we spent the first segment highlighting everything going on at the high school. There's so much happening there right now. I know you mentioned you just redid your junior high school bleachers and those sorts of things. Let's talk, after this summer, future of Clinton facilities. What's your big vision? What do you have, in at top of mind for Clinton schools going forward?
Actually, I mean, I guess my focus would then shift to the football track complex. When that was built back, I'm not sure even when it was built, but I mean, it was the state of the art. I mean, it was the all weather track, the bleachers, everything was phenomenal. Well, obviously with everything else, it's been some time. So my focus will be shifting towards the track football / complex out there to try to get some things redone out there and get that ball rolling.
Sure. So when it comes to, you spoke about this just briefly, one thing that a lot of areas have, we think about Maroa Forsyth and the turf there. I know Lincoln is doing some things with their facilities. Monticello obviously doing a big project. Champaign, Bloomington, I shouldn't say Bloomington, but Champaign, Decatur, all these places are doing big things with their facilities, turf and all the scoreboards and all this stuff. You talked about Clinton doesn't have the ability to tap into a 1 cent sales tax like a lot of these areas do. How much does that hold us back when it comes to these big visions we have, but then, we don't have that money to tap into for these things? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I don't think it necessarily holds us back. I mean, we're still doing a lot of really, really good things out there at Clinton High School. I mean, I wouldn't say anything about holding us back. It's just that I get people want to talk about turf and, turf in the baseball fields and softball fields and the football fields. And, you go to Monticello and Ogden, Tolono Unity, where they've done a lot of things. I happened to notice that when we were there for the playoffs a few years ago. Yeah. I mean, they literally turfed everything. I don't even know if they mow anymore over there. So, but yeah, they passed their 1% facility tax over there in a lot of those counties. And that all that money has to be spent on facilities, whether it be science labs, the theater, the athletic facilities. I mean, people always think of athletic facilities, but there's, Williamsville is another one that just happened over there. They built their indoor track facility, but they also built an auditorium to go with it. So they did a lot of dual things over there. It's just one of those things where, nowadays there's not many counties you go to where you're not already paying it. When you travel to Champaign to go to a movie, you're paying the 1% or, so it's one of those things that hopefully eventually it'll get past here. I know in the past they've tried to pass it, but that's something that, hopefully potentially we'll do again. I know there's been discussions about it, but that's something, down the road we'll start to work on.
Definitely. So it would be nice to tap into that, but again, for the time being, don't have that. So you talk about focusing on football. What do you want to do out there? I mean, obviously I think turfing the field is priority number one, but I think a lot of fans that go out for football games, especially early in the season, they sit down and that sun is right in their eyes. We're up in the press box doing football games and that sun is bearing down on us. It's a warm one. How about that?
Yeah, well, obviously in the plan that we would potentially do, we would definitely flip home and away. I mean, obviously we would flip the home bleachers to the other side. That's probably the number one ask or complaint or whatever you'd like to say, because I've been up with you for those early games and you can't see anything when that sun hits a certain level. I know they put those pine trees in there to get there, but those pine trees I think have capped out how tall they're getting and it just doesn't get it as much anymore.
Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm talking 8-lane track, new football light, new lights out there. I think our track program stuff, we're not even able to host a sectional anymore because the IHSA has a standard rule that you have to have at least 8 lanes to be able to host that. And with the quality of our track programs, it'd be really nice to be able to host those events because Clinton, since I've been here, we host as many IHSA, IESA events as they will let me because that brings a lot of money into our town, our community. Because when they come to our facilities for a state meet or one of those, sectionals or regionals, guess where they're eating? They're eating right across the street, or they're eating at Cinco de Mayo, or they're eating up at town. Those things help everybody in the town, and it just sheds a really good light on the whole town and community of Clinton when we can host good athletic events out there.
Such a good point you bring up, because that's where that 1 cent sales tax comes in. And I'm not trying to make a pitch for it, but that's where that 1 cent sales tax comes in, and that you've got all those people eating and shopping and filling up gas, and those pennies on all those dollars, they're not coming into the Clinton School District. They're just stagnant right now. They're not going anywhere. We could be harvesting all of that money from all these events you're bringing in. And you're not wrong. I mean, when you host an event, McDonald's, Dairy Queen, any other place with a, Jimmy John's, any place with a drive-through or you can sit down and eat is absolutely packed. And it's a shame we can't harvest into that influx of people coming into our community for athletics.
Yeah, it's one of those things that hopefully will happen someday.
Right.
I have a feeling that there's a chance it could. I really do. I mean, but that's something that's kind of above my above me. So,
sure. It's just an observation I've always had. It's disappointing because, like you said, you host just about anything and everything. You'll talk. We'll talk here in a second. 7-on-7s. We're gonna have multiple football teams coming to town this summer to play some football. There's gonna be some different activities happening as well. So just a missed opportunity, at least I think, from our community's perspective. But back to the facilities discussion itself. How about softball and baseball? What do you envision for some of those facilities? What do we need there?
Obviously down the road, I would potentially like to turf both of those. I think that's, if you talk about Illinois athletics, the spring really gets hammered. They start so early in March that even if it's dry out, it's cold. Or then if it gets warm enough, then it's soggy. So those I think are those are the fields and the games that get canceled the most. Football, if it's raining, pouring down rain, we're going to play. Baseball and softball, you get rained out. But since I've been here, we've done a lot of upgrades to our baseball and softball facility. We've done all new dirt, all new sod, all that stuff, all new fencing on all the fields. So like I said, I would put all of them up, but they still do get rained out, way more percentage wise than any other event we have. So obviously I think down the road, that would be something in the vision plan.
Sure.
To potentially turf both of those. Just at least the infield. Obviously, you'd love to do the whole thing if it was possible, but at least I know at Tolonia they did just the infield.
Yeah. I did talk to them. It sounds like they're going to do the outfield at some point.
They are, yeah.
But it's not. I don't think it's as imminent as like what we're talking about.
I'm actually looking into right now. We're looking into we're going to sod our baselines and then turf the home plate area.
Okay.
So that's at least a start to help prevent some of those cancellations because obviously if you get rid of some of the dirt, then it's less chance that you can work on some of the other ones and maybe spend your time getting them.
Makes sense.
We actually noticed that when we were over at Tri-Valley, they did that for our regional game. And I noticed that. So I talked to their AD, Josh Roop, and he says, since they've done that, they have not had to cancel very many baseball games at all.
Nice.
So I looked into it. It's pretty cost effective. So it's something that we're going to look at doing. So
that's solid
to help prevent that on our junior high and our varsity baseball field.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Mr. Koeppel, let's wrap up with this here real fast. I know that you just named a new varsity baseball coach. Of course, Coach Hickman has retired. You're looking for a softball coach as well. Give us the status of some of those programs.
Yes, we just hired last week. We hired Nate Ennis, who's a local kid. He graduated from Clinton High School. I don't know the year he graduated. I'm sure it was a while ago, but he was our JV coach before I got here. And then when I was here, I hired him as our junior high baseball coach. He did that for 3 years. I think he was the JV coach for 3 years. So he's got some experience in our program, but he's also been running a summer program probably for the last 8 years, I'm guessing, called the Revolution here in town. So he has currently coached in junior high level all of the kids that will be on our baseball team next year on the varsity baseball team. So that was a pretty good, feather in his cap, so to speak, when he came for the interview, that he knows our kids. He knows the talent we have. We only graduated one senior. Everybody else is coming back from a pretty solid baseball team. So I think we've got a pretty good chance to kind of move things forward. And I think Nate will bring that energy and that passion. One is that he's a graduate and alumni from Clinton, so he wants us to be successful, and he brings that Clinton community pride. As you know, he's an agent here in town with State Farm, so he just has a lot of that Clinton pride in him, and so that was part of it to bring him on to softball. We are currently looking still for a softball coach. We need a high school varsity softball coach and an assistant, so both those positions are open, and we are currently accepting applications right now.
Any other programs you need coaches or anything like that for?
Right now, we are all full other than that one. So yeah, we've done a pretty good job. And the softball one just came open a couple weeks ago, obviously, because softball just ended. So it wasn't like it's been open for 3 months. It's only been open for a couple weeks. So there's no rush, softball's a spring sport. So we're getting some good applicants in, and we'll take our time and we'll figure it out. And then we'll hire someone good and keep it going.
There you go. 30 seconds, Mr. Koeppel. I know you've got some 7-on-7 stuff for football. You've got a big cross-country meet in the fall. How about these things real fast?
Yeah, we'll be doing a 7-on-7. I think there's 8 or 9 teams coming to our campus in July. And then obviously we've got in August, we'll have our Light It Up event, which we currently have 25 teams signed up, boys and girls. So we're probably looking at over 500 runners that night. And, we always end the night with that fireworks show. We'll be doing that again. So it's really, for something that kind of came about by accident, it's really something that's really grown into a really community-wide event, and it's something to look forward to in August.
Well, Mr. Koeppel, we appreciate your time. Thanks for making it for us.
Thank you.
Matt Koeppel, Clinton Schools Athletic Director, Network News on the way.
HOW.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump due in federal court in Miami this afternoon. He'll be arraigned on charges contained in an indictment that stems from the documents that were seized by the FBI in its raid on Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Stunning revelation having to do with allegations that then Vice